These letters from the Homeowners Association president to management here at Shadow Valley prove this battle spans years. Now, perfect example of that right back here. We just saw these flames pop up literally seconds ago. That Greater Refuge Church right over my shoulder here has been just that, a place of refuge for an entire town in mourning. If you come look at this car right here, I can still wipe it off, so nothing frozen just yet, so I will keep my cleats in the car. We'll save that for later. Kids admit it's hard to find books on the shelves they haven't read yet, but they're excited to find new ones they can check out. It won't feel like December for long, thank God. Chief Meteorologist Mike Collier is tracking the warm-up. Hi, Mike.
Tell us how you really feel, Ashley. You ready?
New at 5, traveling for the holidays this year may cost you much more than you planned. And no storms, Caden, but we got thunder.
We do have the thunder. Yeah, how about you?
And as we inch closer to Christmas, there's one guy everyone is trying to find. Rumor has it Santa Claus is coming to town. Right now, a child abuse suspect is still in jail after police say the 21-month-old's injuries are likely not survivable. Throughout this holiday season, you've probably seen people ringing bells outside of your favorite stores to collect donations for the Salvation Army. But you probably haven't seen it quite like this. Oklahoma's Department of Corrections is investigating 2 inmate deaths here at Tulsa's Transitional Center. David Walden and Richard Eubanks died 2 days apart last month. Today, their families coming together to file a lawsuit they hope exposes the truth. Rhonda Childers hadn't heard from her cousin Richard Eubanks in years until the phone call.
What do you mean? He died of what? Well, they just wouldn't answer no questions.
She remembered seeing a similar story, the one of inmate David Walden, 2 days before.
Like you're in a nightmare and you're awake.
His parents, Ronald and Karen Walden, got the same call.
I thought it was a joke.
After news broke, their phones wouldn't stop ringing.
The guy said that David was screaming at the top of his voice all day, wanting medical assistance.
10 to 20 inmates telling them they didn't have the full story.
Said he finally just started praying. Said he just kept saying over and over, "Help me, God."
Today, the family filed a wrongful death suit against Core Civic, the company who runs and operates the facility. In a statement, the company said it hasn't received the suit, so it can't comment. But they take the well-being of those in their care seriously, and it's cooperating with the DOC's investigation.
They both asked for medical treatment repeatedly and were ultimately denied medical treatment right up until their death.
The family's attorney said he has evidence of negligence by staff and illegal activity in the facility.
Knowing that he died, and I wasn't there with him. That's the hardest part.
The Department of Corrections says it cannot comment on pending litigation, but does say their investigation is ongoing. From downtown Tulsa, Ashley Holt, 2 Works for You.
No, I don't anticipate ever going back to Safari Joe's.
Aaron Beck, his wife, and 2 kids went to Safari Joe's on July 3rd, but there was one slide that flipped their day upside down.
Got about 1/3 of the way down the slide, and the water pressure was very high, and it tilted me up that way on the side of the slide.
Beck fell out of his tube and came out backwards.
I stood there for a few minutes and saw 3 or 4 or 5 other people come down the exact same way, all of them looking like I did, just completely kind of flabbergasted that that's how that ended.
Bruised and bleeding, he went to report it.
Talked to a very nice girl who I said, "This is what happened. I wanted to fill out an injury report form." And she said, "Oh, you don't need me. You need to go talk to him."
He says a maintenance employee went to go check the slide's water pressure. That's the last he heard from Safari Joe's. So he went to social media.
The reason I posted is I went to their Facebook page and I saw 3 or 4 other people had written about the exact same thing.
Numerous people told the exact same story. They flipped on the slide, lost their tube, and after being jerked around, came out backwards. I commented on the post and got 2 phone calls.
I landed face first going down in the water, and when I came off the slide, I was in tears.
Melissa Jenkins didn't report it.
I thought I broke my foot. I still have a sore foot.
Thinking it was her fault.
And it wasn't until I saw the reviews on their Facebook page the next day that I realized that this is an ongoing ordeal.
Samantha Redding drove from Arkansas to go to Safari Joe's.
My daughter, she went in front of me, and she went down, and she flipped over, and she was scared for her life.
And she reported the incident.
All they said was, "I'm sorry, all we can do is offer you 3 passes." I sold my 3 passes on Facebook.
Everyone pretty clear on one thing. So would you ever go back there?
No, I would not recommend going back because it scared me to death.
In a statement, Safari Joe himself says the water park has been open since 1984. The Oklahoma Labor Department has helped us on setting up guidelines for these 3 rides to make them safe. Beck told me he's the one that called the Oklahoma Department of Labor. A representative told me the inspector was at Safari Joe's today and, quote, has recommended that the weight requirement for the ride be adjusted to ensure public safety.
I want to see them be proactive and accept when they make a mistake. Everybody does it, but it's much, much worse when you just pretend nothing's wrong.
And while he says he and his family won't ever go back, he hopes standing up will protect the people that do.
It is a very real possibility that someone could be critically injured or killed on that ride.
Every leaves start to fall in Locust Grove, the sun shines through the trees right above Jack and Elaine Denny's old home.
And I remember that the day was like a really pretty day.
It tells the Keeners for the 10th time the day is approaching.
That morning that I had called them again, just to say, hey, we're going to be coming over.
Sarah Keener and her husband Ladney packed up their 14, 11, and 9-year-olds to go to Minkma and Grandpa's house for Christmas.
It didn't seem odd on Christmas Eve that I didn't hear from them. But Christmas morning, when they didn't answer again, things started feeling odd.
Their car trekked down the country road and found its way up to the house quaintly hidden in the brush.
When we drive up, they always meet us. They're always...
Something wasn't right.
I think I was the first one to the door, and it was unlocked. And I remember saying, Ladney, it's unlocked.
I remember walking in to the house, and it felt off. It felt weird.
Unlike every other Christmas, Sarah and Ladney walked in first.
When we got into the laundry room area, he was beside me, and we were telling the kids to stay back.
They weren't met with the warm smiles they were expecting, but a gruesome, heartbreaking sight.
Because when we got in, it was obvious in that moment that they were gone.
I remember seeing pots still on the stove. And the look on Mom and Dad's face.
Moments later, Minkma's classic Christmas decorations were guarded by police tape.
I stayed in the van with the kids, and I remember turning around and telling them, Minkma and Grandpa are dead. I'm sorry, they're gone. We're gonna be okay.
We all just kind of sat, we cried, we sat in silence and just waited.
Under Sheriff Jason Chenault responded to the call.
They had food in the kitchen that had been prepared. It looked like they had settled down to eat their dinner and were interrupted.
His report showing what is still true about the case today, both the suspect and circumstances unknown.
There's information that would lead me to believe that more than one person was involved.
But they don't know when those people arrived. Reports indicate it could have happened Christmas Day or either of the 2 days before.
It's just ridiculous.
Neighbors were shocked.
I mean, they're like family to everybody, you know.
Chances are, if you knew Elaine, you had an Elaine quilt and knew the taste of good food.
Really cool. I remember sitting out in the yard snapping green beans.
Jack could name every type of tree in his yard, an expert outdoorsman.
We have the shirt that my grandpa's wearing.
Both always smiling, always happy, always loving.
I love this picture of my parents. I mean, that's just them.
Sarah still holds them close behind the message she knows they'd want her to hold on to as they continue to wait.
I think that all we need is that one break, that one person to reach out and give us the information that we need and we can put this puzzle together.
Like somebody took their lives. Somebody that had no right to.
The Keeners, anticipating the day they can tell Grandpa and Minkma justice is served.
Their death was not who they were. I have no doubt that justice will happen.
Ashley Holt, 2 Works for You.